Are the Texans a legit AFC top-tier team, Dan?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
And it's because of their quarterback. Listen, Deshaun Watson's one of those rare players that there's some guys that are super talented, but they don't have the mindset to make every play like a Superman. And then there's guys who think they can make any play, but they're just not talented enough. Deshaun Watson's both of them. He is a guy that has a mindset that I can make any play at any moment. He's fearless no matter what, but then he has the talent to match it. Because of Deshaun Watson and just his mindset, going with the physical abilities, Houston's not only in it this year, they're going to be in it for the next 10, 15 years because of him, but absolutely this year.
Well, I agree. And the people that are benefiting from that are his weapons, which they have a plenty. You're talking about Stills, Fuller, Nuke is top-tier wide receiver forever and ever. Duke Johnson making plays. So you think about what he has on that offensive side of the ball. You're like, okay, Deshaun Watson, Dabo Swinney called him the Michael Jordan of football if you pass on him. Now he's starting to come to fruition. He's starting to ball out and play the guitar like in incredible fashion. But what they're saying now, reports are saying that J.J. Watt will be back. If they get optimism, is that J.J. Watt will be back for the playoffs. They get Jadeveon Clowney out of there so they can make some room for the best lungs in football and Laramie Tunzel. But if you get J.J. Watt back on the defensive side of the ball for a playoff run, plus all those weapons, plus that swag that Deshaun Watson has, I mean, I legitimately see them as a top-tier AFC team.
But that's the point, though, is that you say playoff run, and 3 of the last 4 years, they've either lost in the wild card or divisional round. Is there anything about this year's
it's a different
team?
year.
Yes? Okay, why?
Well, 2 things. One, Watson is one of those players that no matter the play call, even if you have the right play call and you play it perfectly, he can overcome it. But right now, the issue that has kind of held him in the past is beating the blitz. Deshaun Watson realizing how to beat the blitz is like watching Dustin Johnson learn how to hit wedges.
Bob Ross how to paint.
He's got the big ball, and he's got the home run or the big driver, but the little things that he's doing with his game. Last night, against one of the better blitzing teams in the league, he gutted them. So if he's going to do that consistently, watch out for the Texans offense.
I love that you guys both agree, because apparently, Greeny, ducks fly together.
Oh, quack, quack, quack!
What do you think the Chiefs stated yesterday with that win?
Well, if their defense is going to get turnovers like that, they're in a different conversation, right? Because, you know, we kind of harped on their defense struggling a little bit. But if they're going to get turnovers like this is like 3 or 4 weeks in a row where they've gotten a bunch of turnovers. If they're going to continue to do that and feed the ball to that offense, the offense is way too good. So if you're going to get them 3 or 4 more possessions a game, and these young safeties with Honey Badger and Thornhill, if those guys are continuing to be all over the football field and get turnovers, like, yes, this elevates the Chiefs to be in the conversation for legit Super Bowl contenders. If they're going to give up a ton of yards and on the run game, but the turnovers are a big deal, and they're hot right now. And turnovers in the NFL come in bunches.
Well, turnover is the number 2 stat you should look for who's going to win a game. First one's the score. So, I mean, that's a good way to look at it.
Sure,
yeah, from what I've been told, that's the rules of the game. But they're +6 in the last 2 weeks in turnover margin. And it's kind of the turning of the tide for me was when Tyrann Mathieu beat up Ryan Clark on the internet. He was basically saying to him, hey, keep that same energy whenever we get hot. So Tyrann Mathieu knew that their defense could get hot, and they have. And then after the bye week with Andy Reid, I like to picture like a beautiful mind with him with a dry erase board just drawing up brand new plays that he hadn't wasted already. And that team looks fresh. They look re-energized, revitalized. And Patrick Mahomes can rest that patella. I mean, they look like a team that should be in the top 5 of power rankings, that they have been, which a lot of us were confused by because they had lost games. All the potential, all the weapons, and the defense is starting to play together. It looks like that's a team that's peaking.
The Titans, Rex, are the team nobody will want to face if they get into the playoffs.
No, and you're right, Greeny. Why? And it's not just Tannehill. He is playing decent. I like him in the red zone because when the quarterback comes alive in a running game, that's important. But speaking of the running game, Derrick Henry. Like, start feeding this beast. They always say you got to be able to run the football when it comes to the playoffs, and you got to play defense. Tennessee does that about as well as anybody.
You know, Derrick Henry reminds me of 2 running backs that I used to watch as a child. Chris Muafatu Malfala and Chris Johnson combined. This guy has a fullback size with incredible speed and agility as well. Whenever they feed him, it feels like he goes for 700 yards every time he's the feature guy. Tannehill also throwing the ball a lot better than I remembered him doing under Adam Gase's leadership. That team has really taken the direction of Vrabel, who has an incredible mustache, has said on Bussin' with the Boys and podcast that he's willing to do absolutely anything to get to the Super Bowl. In a team that can run, and a team that can stop the run, also has good special teams. Brett Kern, one of the most underrated punters of all time. It looks like they're a good squad. And for the Colts, I mean, they stunk yesterday, and that was a heartbreaker.
That was your team.
It was my team. They're injured, they're banged up, but the Titans look like they finally have a team that is really going to be something special going forward in a potential playoff team.
Yes, and with the Texans looking as good as they did and the Titans winning and other things, the Colts are pretty much done.
Okay,
right?
all right. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but they're pretty much done.
It sounded like you were very confident saying that. You didn't hate to say it at all. But yes, things have taken quite a turn there. A lot of injuries riddled them. Jacoby made some amateur mistakes yesterday. He's young. They'll get going. But now the AFC South has two teams that legitimately are fighting for a good wild card spot.
Adam Gase is a special coach, and that's what he did. I mean, he understands the game, man. Look how special he is. I'm going to throw the ball against this team that can't stop anybody running it, any Pop Warner team up to this point. You have Le'Veon Bell. You spent how many millions of dollars
52
on him, by the way. And Bilal Powell, I don't care who you got, Emerson Boozer back there. Right now, he could have run the ball against that Cincinnati team. The fact he didn't run it is awful. The Johnson said what they said to help this guy, but don't kid yourself. At the end of the year, they're going to reevaluate.
If you took somebody that didn't know much about football and you just put numbers in front of them, to your point, Greeny, and said, hey, this team's really bad at doing this, anyone be able to figure that out and go, okay, well, I'm just going to do that against them. I'm going to make them stop what they're really bad at. But Adam Gase,
I have the solution to this problem, okay?
Yeah.
I spent all weekend, or at least all of yesterday, with all these Michigan fans telling me it is time to get rid of Jim Harbaugh. Well, I've got the solution. Christopher Johnson, get on a flight to Ann Arbor right now and beg, not ask, but beg Jim Harbaugh to come be the head coach of the New York Jets. Jim Harbaugh has had more success literally everywhere he's gone as a coach than Adam Gase will ever have. The best thing that could happen to the New York Jets, and I'm not saying it's going to because I don't believe it's going to, but the best thing they could do would be to try and find some miracle way to get Jim Harbaugh to come coach.
I disagree. They should bring me back and pull the Billy Martin. And I'm not kidding.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.